Welcome. I'm your host, Dustin.
And I'm your returning co-host, Aaron.
Yes, Aaron is back for this review since Dean is on vacation right now and he wasn't able to make this one. This is a very special episode, mainly because Aaron is here and because we got a screener for Terrifier 2. Aaron, as you know, as we always used to do it, right off the cuff, what do you think of this film?
Oof. Well, it's really terrifying times two, compared to the other one. That's for sure. They outdo themselves. Damien, he outdid himself like big time in this movie. Like I thought he pushed some boundaries in the last movie, but he took
Oh,
it.
you are in for a treat.
But it's no, it was a very sinister movie. David Howard Thorne, he does such a great job of portraying him. And like the fact that he doesn't talk, he's got like that Michael Myers esque, like I said, that like sinister, you know, um, vibe to it.
Yeah, he
Where
has a presence for sure.
yeah, it's just the facial expressions alone that like you're like shit.
Oh, yes. And there's a lot of brutal scenes in this that some people I don't think are going to be prepared for. You think when you think Terrifier, the first thing that you think of from the first movie is obviously the girl being sawed in half.
Oh, yep.
Okay. So I just want to prepare everybody. We're going to be doing spoilers free for the first like I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes. Might go into some graphic detail and some things I want to point out because there's a lot of stuff that happens in this movie. It is a what is it, 2 hours and 18 minutes? So it's a
Yeah.
long movie, and it does not slow down at all. Um,
Nope.
but just to prepare everybody, going into this film, if you haven't seen it at a festival or if you haven't been gifted a screener, I want to warn you that you might want to bring a barf bag for this one because there is a lot of gruesome shit. Um,
Oh yeah.
and the thing that I like about this too is it picks up literally the same night. So you could watch Terrifier, then go right into Terrifier 2, and it will just
Hmm.
be a continuation of what was
Like
happening
4 hour long
before.
movie.
Yeah, it's a joy.
Oh yeah.
David Howard Thornton, friend of the show, really, 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 really brutal in this one. Um, and you know what? He wasn't lying when I interviewed him a couple months ago that this one will kind of, take the air out of you and make you not prepared for what's going on. There's a lot of really crazy stuff, and I honestly, I guess
I
just
can handle a
being
lot in horror movies. Sorry, as you
no, you're
know,
good.
but like I almost had to take a break a couple of times throughout this movie.
Yeah, yeah, it's nuts, and I'm gonna be honest. I've seen a lot of horror movies. All right, as you guys know, this is a horror podcast. um, I was kind of, thinking, oh, he's just doing this as like a promotional thing. It's not going to be that crazy. I don't think it's going to be upping the ante too much. I think they're going to play it safe because it's the second movie. Damien's really starting
Mhm.
to. Um,
Isn't it? Oh, look, they had All Hallows Eve too. Was that the part of the same like, or is
yeah,
that?
that was like the beginning of all this because Art was kind of he wasn't like the main focus on that one. That was kind of
Mm-hmm.
like the birth. David didn't play that Art. I forget who did it, but that was
Okay.
somebody else. But then it kind of spawned off and did Terrifier, and then we get Terrifier 2. Um, but yeah, I really thought David was just saying like, hey, it's going to be crazy, mainly for a promotional thing to get people really hyped for it. I mean, we're all hyped for it anyway. This movie has been wanted for Jesus, what 4 years, I think 3 or
At
4 years
least.
or something like that. Um, so I was like, yeah, okay, David, I'll take your word for it. But at the back of my mind, I was kind of doubting it. But after watching this, David, you know what? You're 100% right. You're right, man. I was wrong. In my mind, yes, this movie will knock you off your feet. You might, I don't know. I honestly feel like I'm gonna see people walk out of the theater. I'm not even kidding. I think this is gonna be a movie that We're gonna see some walkouts for how crazy it gets. And the younger cast too, Lauren and Elliot, they both do such a great job in this.
Oh, I know. That's
Especially,
so
yeah, like
honest.
um, God, I felt bad in a way for Elliot towards the end of the film, because it was really brutal, with what Art was doing to him and
I
everything
think
else.
even Art stooped down to that level. To be honest,
Yeah, I
I was like,
know.
shit.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that you probably weren't expecting. I definitely was expecting half of the stuff, but I guess if I have to kind of give like my thought before we jump into spoilers or anything like that, I would just say prepare yourself. It's a great movie. It's definitely a new kind of slasher for sure. This is something that
Yeah,
um is going to be stepping up the ante a lot, and a lot of films are going to have to, I don't know.
you have to fill these shoes.
Yeah, exactly. Like I don't know. Like we got Halloween Ends coming out, right? And we all know that Michael Myers is this brutal slayer, like not a man, he's like a machine, fucking death incarnate. But I think Art
Art might have
fucking
to
like
be.
that he definitely like outdoes him by far. And like Art's definitely, carving his place in horror history, really.
Oh, for sure.
Like literally carving his way into the horror history. And I was kind of talking to David about this too, about the feeling of being up there with like Freddy and Michael and Jason. I honestly think that if any of them would go after Art, Art would kick their ass.
Yeah. Well, they're all old now.
Exactly. And that's the other thing that's really funny. You don't really know how old Art is. Is Art even
Even-
a guy? Is he like it still begs the question of like what is art? Who is art? And that's something that I always thought of. It's like, oh, it's just a
you know,
guy who's just a clown, but then he's not. He's like his own entity.
yeah, and he just like it's almost like he has like influences blended in from like all the classic horror like icons. Like he was like getting in people's heads and in their dreams and shit.
Yeah,
Freddy. He's got that like I said, that like sinister like entity vibe that Michael Myers has.
yeah,
You can definitely see the influence from a lot of the classic horror icons though.
yeah. Now I really do want to see Art go up against Michael though. Can we get that?
Right?
Come on,
Like
Damien. We get the guys over at Bloody Disgusting and Screenbox to help us with that one. And speaking of Screenbox, I do want to give a huge thank you to them. Um, this is not a sponsored stream at all for anybody who may have that question. Screenbox has been really, really good to this podcast, and thanks to them, they helped us get the screener and help support their films. They're coming out like Pussy Cake, When the Screaming Starts, and now this one. Even though this movie is going to theaters for a few days starting October 6th, it's going to be going to Screenbox as well. And if you guys are looking for a place to watch the first Terrifier movie, go to Screenbox. They have that right now, because obviously they're getting the second one, so they have the rights to that one. And they also have a 30-day free trial, which is amazing. Other streaming services don't really do that. It's usually 7 days if you're lucky, and it's
Mhm.
$5 a month. I mean, you can't
You
beat
can't beat
that.
it.
You really can't beat that. Uh, and Aaron, obviously, thank you for coming on here again to kind of help me do this one, because I would have did this one all by myself, but doing reviews is very lonely if you do it alone. It's
You also don't have anyone to bounce off of.
exactly, so I thank you for taking the time to come over and do this, and also watch this ridiculous movie. Um, Dean would have
Oh,
been
it was my
here.
pleasure.
Dean would have been here, but he's currently vacationing in Florida, doing a bunch of Halloween Horror Nights and other spooky stuff. So he wasn't able to make this. He did enjoy this film a lot. he was blown away. So I guess a few thoughts from him, from what he was telling me, if I can remember off the top of my head, that he thinks that this is also pushing a lot of boundaries. Um, it's a movie that I think everybody should see. Even if you're not a horror fan, I just want people to see how crazy things can get. And this, fuck, I can't think of a movie that would top this at all. And none of this movie is slow or monotonous, or you're like, I don't want to watch this. You're intrigued the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's no there. I don't think there's a slow scene in this movie. I think the only like slow quotation mark scene would be that one extended scene we were talking about before we
yeah, but that's
started
for
here.
good reason.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
No, it definitely works very well.
we'll get into that one in spoilers, but for right now, just for the next couple minutes, we'll stay spoiler free for
Thought of
everybody.
a movie that'll top it.
What?
Mutilator.
Oh, Aaron, dude, get out of here, dude. That movie sucks ass. I want to see Art go into that movie and fucking tear those people apart. Let's do
All
that one.
right.
That will definitely be the mutilator.
Hell
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, make sure you guys go see this movie when it's theaters. 3 days. It'll be October 6th. If tickets are still available, because I know a lot of theaters that I've been seeing has been selling out, which is really good for indie horror, because this is an indie horror film. It's not a big budget studio film. This is Damien Leone's baby, and he kept a lot of the same cast. And obviously the blood and gore has been upped a lot because they got a little bit more budget. And I'm pretty sure this is a Kickstarter. If I'm wrong, please let me know. I meant to do a bunch of research yesterday in preparation for this, but I was extremely tired, so forgive me if I get some facts wrong. But yeah, this movie is nuts. And I hope everybody goes to see it. Support this film. Support any kind of horror. Go to Screenbox. You won't regret it. And just keep in mind that competition is very, very good. I know everybody goes to Shudder. I love Shudder too. The folks over at Screenbox, they love Shudder as well. But just keep in mind that the more platforms we have on horror or anything in general, competition breeds good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, a product of that. Oh fuck! But I think without further ado, Aaron, we can jump into spoilers. Unless you have any last minute thoughts.
No, I'm okay with getting right into spoilers
All right, so
because I just want to
yeah.
dissect this.
I will count down so you guys know when spoilers are going to be starting. So 3, 2, 1. You're in the spoiler zone. So if you don't want to be spoiled, please sign off. Wait until October 6th to go and see this movie. You won't regret it. It will be, money well spent, and you'll have a lot to be thinking about when you leave, and you'll probably have a lot of nightmares. That's kind of the goal here. But Aaron, I guess since you are here for the first time, about a couple months, I'll let you start off. Is there a scene that you want to talk about, or I don't know, an effect that really like stuck out to you that you want to talk about first?
um, well, when we start off with that laundry scene, that laundromat scene, that
Oh
got
yes, with the little girl.
yeah. So it's like it's got that like comedic aspect to it that you expect from Art at this point because he's like kind of a smart ass like without like I said without saying anything,
Yeah.
but like just the fact that he's like casually doing his laundry and like he's like um and then when the friggin' machine stops working he's like god damn it. It's like almost like kind of gives you that like oh maybe he is a human um but yeah, no, that scene, I thought it was a cool way to like a very like lighthearted way to open up the movie a bit.
Yeah.
Um, with but then introducing that little girl, and then when they're like doing patty cake, and the guy sees him, he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, and it's all
But
part of like Art's imagination. It seems like.
mhm.
I also love like when she's shitting on the floor. He just looks at her like, "What?" Like his face. He just, I don't know. David can work his face in ways that a lot of actors don't. I know
He's
he has
got like
like a lot of
feel like
makeup on, but
mhm.
even still, like he works. amazingly well with prosthetics on, and this is
Oh,
body
that
language is phenomenal.
art is written for him.
Oh,
Honestly,
for sure. I couldn't see anybody else doing art. I mean, obviously we have the guy who
that
played it in All Hallows Eve, but David takes art to a whole new level. Um, and
his
the
own.
reason for that, from when I was talking to him, is he has a lot of like the Joker influences and a lot of Joker and on I think he said on stage. He's also voice acted. He also did like a mini series on YouTube and short things. That had to do with the Joker, and he's also very heavily inspired by the Killing Joke, which is
Mhm.
also really cool because Terror Threads did a art um, mashup with the Killing Joke cover, which was really really fucking cool. So I mean that kind of sums up who David is um, as an actor, not as a person, but as an actor.
Mhm.
Has a lot of very what's a good word of saying, like very brutal way of being on screen when he's portraying
Oh,
characters like this.
like you don't miss him on screen.
No, no,
Like
no.
he's there. You can't ignore him. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. And another thing that's really cool is he was telling me that he has a lot of other movies he's going to be a part of in the coming year. So I'm really excited to see what else he can do outside of art. Um, but that's fine. We're gonna come right back to Terrifier 2, and we'll keep our eyes out for all the other things that David is doing in the background. Um, so, like I said, this is a really, really long movie. And I kind of really like the fantasy element that this movie has that the first one
Yeah,
didn't. It has a
I know.
lot of fantastical elements like the montage when she's making her costume, which is fucking badass, man.
All right.
It is so badass. So I really, really love that and the attention to detail on the costume and just her room was really, really cool. But the one thing that was kind of upsetting me throughout this whole film was the mother.
Oh yeah.
Um, she's just always in a pissy mood. I understand that there are
Mhm.
parents out there who are like that. But I think they probably could have reworked her a little bit more so that she could be a little bit more uh I don't know, lighter at times instead of so brutal and saying like
Yeah.
her kids fucked up or being upset because like their father is no longer there. I don't know. That was just like one little nitpick that I had. I feel like they could have
Yeah.
reworked her a little bit more.
Agreed. Because I almost have found myself like kind of give off a little cheer when she got blasted.
Oh my god, yes, that was really really cool. But yeah, Lauren plays Sienna, who I think she does such a great job with that, and we have Elliot who plays Jonathan, and both really really good actors. They work well with each other, and they're really good on screen. So like when art still starts doing things to them, it hurts me a little bit seeing brother and sister get attacked by this fucking maniac entity, and they feel helpless. So
Hmm.
when that starts to happen towards the end of the film, really really gets to you. But I have to say, the one scene that I enjoy so fucking much is the clown cafe. That is such
Clown
a great. Food's a little funny at the clown cafe. It's so so good. Um,
comes in with the fucking Tommy gun and just.
yeah, and the boy who's eating the cereal too. Oh my god,
Hmm.
it's such a fucking fever dream, literally. Um,
Hmm.
and then during that, her costume gets up in flames. So this is another thing that I was a bit confused by, but I guess it kind of makes sense in a way. Is she's kind of connected to art because
Hmm.
her father must have been connected, or one of my theories that I had was art is the father.
That's what I was thinking the whole time too.
I'm
I
glad I'm not
was.
alone. I'm really am. I
was a little.
watched.
I was like, the father's gonna be Art. The father's gonna be Art the whole fucking time. I'm sorry, Ollie,
Yeah,
but
and like even with the drawing book and whatnot, with things being prophesized, really, and art being in there, like what? Because you don't get a lot of explanation as to what happened to the father. Um, so that's my theory, and Aaron, you're kind of on board with me with that as well. And I would love to know if anybody else kind of has that thought as well. If you have a different theory, let us know. I'd love to hear it. But I'll probably wind up asking David and Damien tomorrow to see if they will tell me, and then everybody else will find out. But yeah, that's just a little thing that I was thinking of. But yeah, the Clown Cafe is really really cool. The song is super catchy, and also the soundtrack to this film I think is phenomenal. I need it on vinyl like immediately. But I'm trying to think if there was another really really hard hitting um, scene because there's a lot. We have the school when we see Felissa Rose as the principal. Um,
Moon.
do you have another one, Aaron, that you want to point out?
Um, let's see. Uh, well, there's that scene we were talking about earlier. But um, let's see. Oh, I like I said, I really like the one. Like I said, I found myself almost cheering when the mom like
Got her
just
head
got.
blown off.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, she was like cleaning the window though, and he's just like there smiling. I love that so much.
Yeah,
Because he, but that smile he does every time he's like, fucking like about to kill somebody, or like, when he, um, it just, I don't know, it gets me every time. I'm just like, yes,
yeah, hell
but
yeah. Um,
um, or when he's like stalking her in the Halloween store.
yes, that's like the meme that's kind of going around right now with him with the sunglasses, with the little
Yep.
flower glasses. It's so funny. Yeah, I don't know. That was cracking me up. There's a lot of really really funny moments in this movie. Um, so many that I forget like where they happen, even with all my notes that I wrote down throughout the whole movie. There's just so fucking much. Um, and like the kind of sense of Sienna feeling like she's going insane too. When the
Uh,
TV's like talking back to her, there's a lot of things that are going on in this film, but it all
mhm.
works so well. And I feel like with the length of the movie, they they don't make things feel rushed,
No,
which is a good thing.
it's not out either.
Oh yeah. I actually kind of wanted this to be longer. Not even gonna lie.
They probably could have and made it still work.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, some like really brutal slayings with the guy at the Halloween shop. And then the mother and son knocking on the door, and then the son's like, "Hey, look, there's a thing." Like, "Oh yeah, that's creepy." Um, which is actually kind of funny. I was talking to Dean, and the Halloween shop that I believe that they were in was one that closed a few years ago. And Dean, when he was in New York, saw the shop. I forget what the fuck it was called, but I'm pretty sure that was the same one.
Huh.
You see, um,
Or that scene too when the trick or treaters come up to the house and Art answers the door and he's got the
oh
head
yeah,
with the
yeah, that one's really good.
why is it all sticky?
uh, I guess you know what. Let's talk about that kill. So let's do that. So if no one wants to be spoiled about this, this has to be, I think, the movie's biggest, like what the fuck moment, is that kill with Allie,
Yeah.
and the way it builds up, too, is really really intense. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so Allie's at her house, alone, being there, greeting the trick or treaters, and then Art and the girl are outside in a black van, which is also funny knowing that Art's driving a black van. Um, so he's kind of taunting her and whatnot, and then goes away. And then Ellie hears something shatter downstairs, and it turns out to be her back door that is all glass, completely shattered, and Art is just walking in the kitchen, and he grabs like a pair of like little teeny tiny scissors and I think a knife and starts chasing her, which is really really the
Oh
chase
yeah,
scene
the she
itself.
catches him too. He's like drinking a glass of water. He's just like,
Yeah. So she gets chased up into her room, and I'm gonna tell you, I was not prepared for what the fuck I was about to watch. I'll tell
oh
you the total length of this scene from when she's in the room to the ending. It's 2 minutes and 40 seconds, and
yeah, and
that's
it feels a lot longer.
it does. And fuck man, the shit that happens. I think it starts off with Allie getting her eye cut with the
Oh yep,
scissors. And then I think he starts ripping off like her skin on her back, breaks her leg.
it like, snaps her arm off,
Yeah, and like rips her hand like down the middle.
and he does
Um,
it so like effortlessly too.
yeah, and I I'm sorry, but how is she still alive after
Right?
most of that stuff? I think he would definitely have bled out by then. Um, but
Then he takes it a step further.
dude, it's so gross, but it's so awesome as a horror fan. If you're a gore hound, this scene is gonna be for sure.
Yeah,
You will not. Um, I
you
don't
won't be
know.
disappointed.
Yeah, you might be craving more. At the end, I kind of was. But I'll save some more of the gruesome stuff for you guys to see. I will say that the part that really got me more than the actual like slaying and ripping and tearing of Allie is when the mom gets home. She
Oh
goes
yeah,
upstairs and she's still alive. And she
right.
goes, "Mommy." Oh my god, dude. I got
That is fucking
chills.
terrifying. Yeah, that's
Chills.
nightmare material right there.
And and like Art's eating her too, so now we realize that he's a cannibal or zombie or his own
Something.
thing. I think if Pennywise and Art had to go up against each other, I think Pennywise would shoot off just uh so after that we have a party scene that's kind of long but it's intriguing, and then kind of get to the end of the movie, which is like when it starts getting more fantastical. Is when
Like,
Sienna and Art have to kind of go off and fight one another, and she gets ported into the clown cafe, and she's in the tube, which I think is really really cool. I like that scene a lot.
oh
Um,
yeah,
falls falls down like a hole. So I guess this was way that they were, I guess, trying to say this is like where Art lives, maybe. So kind of is like a Pennywise thing where he Pennywise lives in the sewers, where Art, I guess, hangs out in this abandoned carnival where the little girl who is with him throughout the whole movie got killed. Um, and I think it was Art that did it. So now they're like, I don't know, their spirits are aligned or something. Um, but the little girl is creepy as fuck.
oh yeah.
So yeah, Sienna gets ported into like another world or dimension that is where we saw at the very beginning when she went to the clown cafe in her dream and everybody got brutalized and the people are still burning, like that the singer is still there playing and it's like burning alive and whatnot, and little boy eating a cereal I think is dead and everybody else is dead. um but she's there, and then um she got stabbed by the sword that it's been kind of linked throughout this whole film. It's like this sword that her father gave her, and it was going to be the one thing that was going to kill the quote unquote beast that was in the book. So she gets healed and boarded up, and she gets the sword and then kills Art.
She
And
just like hacked at his neck.
yep, and
He did.
while all this is happening, poor Elliot's up there in the actual real world being attacked by Art. His fucking ankles being eaten, his fingers are being eaten. Um, it gets really, really nuts towards the end, and the set designs are really, really fucking cool throughout this whole film as well. But yeah, we get, Art's dead, and the little girl who was essentially a mini Art gets turned back into her normal self and then poofed away. And then there is after credit stuff to kind of allude that this is not the end of Art. And I think they did a really, really good job pacing, writing, acting, the way that the scenes are all built together, and how it all kind of gets shifted towards this very like epic battle between Sienna and Art, and also Jonathan, who feels so bad for him, but he makes it out. Everybody's alive, well, or
Mostly.
mostly alive. Art's gone, but like the mother's gone, and whatnot. But I think there are rumors already going around that there's going to be a Terrifier 3, and I won't be surprised because these movies are fucking awesome.
Right.
And I guess that's kind of all the points I really wanted to hit. I don't want to talk too much about the film because it's going to be coming out very, very soon, in 3 days. So I wanted to do. Go ahead, Aaron.
Themselves.
What's that?
Oh, I said you want people to learn for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. And I know there's been a lot of other reviews going out this last 2 days, I think, of like non-spoiler ones, which are really, really cool. And the embargo is lifted, so this will be out today. We are recording it on the 3rd, and that's when the embargo is lifted, so it will be out today. So for anybody who has been looking forward to our review on this, here it is. Maybe when Dean gets back, and if he wants to do like a little mini episode with him kind of talking about his thoughts on the film with it actually out, and we can go a little bit more in detail about things, we can do that. But I'll throw that to socials and whatnot, and you guys can let us know if you would like to have a part 2 of this, of dissecting it and actually walking through the whole film, or hearing about his points and whatnot. But Aaron, is there any other last I don't know, scenes or anything that you want to point out before we go to our final verdicts?
No, without giving away too much. No, I don't want to get into too much. So I think we covered the main
Yeah.
plot points. So
Yeah, for sure.
But-
Okay, so what would you rate this out of 10?
all right. Well, comparing to the original Terrifier, which had like that kind of low budget esque
Very
feeling to
indie. Yeah.
like grittiness,
Yeah.
which it ended it really well. Which there was not in a bad way at all. This definitely you can tell it had a higher budget. And I loved everything from the set to the characters to the kills. There wasn't like too complicated of a story. I think it's a great horror movie altogether. I think it's enjoyable. I think it's a great movie to watch with your friends on Halloween.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah, man. No. I just didn't know. Did you give it a score?
Oh no, I didn't. I'm sorry.
No, you good.
I'm gonna give it. I mean, I couldn't find anything besides being disturbing. I couldn't really find anything I didn't like
That's
about
a good
it.
thing. You want it to be
Yeah.
disturbing.
I'm gonna give it 10 blood splatters out of 10 blood splatters.
Yes. That's exactly what I was gonna go with too. Because it is upping the ante for sure. It's pushing the boundaries on what the first one did, and also it's pushing boundaries in horror in general. I think especially when it comes to kills and just showing what you can do on screen, and also knowing that Damien was still in control of all of the special effects. He was the one that was down there being dirty and making all these things happen. I
Yep.
mean, he also had more people on the crew with him to make
To assist, yeah.
to make it more I don't know, make it look better, I guess, is
More
what I'm trying
detail
to say.
oriented.
Yeah, so the set designs are great. The costume design is fucking phenomenal. Art is an icon. I don't care what people say. People can hate on the Terrifier films. They can hate on Art, but damn, you see that little top hat, regardless of where you are, you know exactly who the fuck it is.
Right.
And David and Damien and everybody else that was part of Terrifier 2, you guys have made a classic. This is going to be something that will be around forever, just like Halloween, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is a franchise. I don't know
I
if that's
agree.
like their intent, like actually make a franchise, or just to enrich the characters and bring new things. But when you think of older movies like Halloween, Friday the 13th, they kind of get stale when the longer they go on. But this is one that doesn't seem like that's gonna happen because of just how nutty this world is in
And how
Terrifier.
fresh it is, it sets itself apart.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like you can put in so many other characters, and also maybe get more than one art. That would be kind of crazy to get like
Right.
a family of arts, like bring back the little girl and let her do some killings. 'Cause she was mainly the one that was like luring people to art, so she wasn't really doing too much um outside of that. And I want to see art build more crazy weapons.
Right.
Like
The
um
fucking bat with the forks and the shit, knives and
yeah,
stuff in
it, it,
it.
it was like that was like what a leg from a table, I think, that he was
I think
using.
so. Yeah.
I do like the returning weapon of like the whip with the knives and
Oh.
stuff on it that he used in the first one. I liked seeing that one return.
Mhm.
Um, I also really liked watching him get decapitated, which was really really cool.
Yeah. I thought the cannibalistic aspect of it was kind of cool. I didn't expect it because I don't from what I remember he doesn't eat anybody in the first one, right?
No, he just like brutalizes them like badly.
Yeah.
I think he gets off with people watching him kill, and for people seeing his trophies, which I think is kind of childish, and that's kind of it's cute, but it's not. It's
Hmm.
like he wants
Got
people.
like that playful aspect to it.
Yeah, yeah. So like when I think of art, I think that he wants people to see what he's doing. I don't think he
Hmm.
necessarily wants to hide what he's doing. Because he'll do it anywhere. He'll do it right in front of kids,
Yeah.
or he'll go to your house, whatever it may be. He'll be in your dreams, slaughtering like 15 people with a fucking Tommy gun. Um, it's crazy, and this film is crazy. And don't sleep on this. Either watch it in theaters, which I highly recommend, so that way you're supporting the film even
You get the
more.
full experience.
Yeah, with an audience, and that's what I'm really excited for. I'm gonna be watching it over the weekend when it's out in theater. And then when it goes on to Screenbox, I'll be watching it even more. I watched this 2 times because the screener that we got, I think, had about, I don't know, 5 or 6 plays on it. So I think there's still one more. So if I wanted to, I could watch it again. But seriously, it's a huge thanks to Screenbox and everybody who let us have a screener for this intense film. So if you're looking for something to up the ante on anything else that you saw this year, gore wise and also storytelling wise, and a very colorful and brutal film, this is the one that you want to see. Um, and don't sleep on it. Seriously, support films, support horror wherever you can. Whether it's on Screenbox, Gutter, theaters, any other services, Friend, YouTube, whatever it may be, because you never know. That next movie that you see will blow up, and it might be the next Terrifier. You never know. Um, but I think that's pretty much all I have for thoughts on this. I'm just keeping this very, very short because I want people to have the full experience for when it comes out, and I want people to know our thoughts on what this film was and if it met our standards. Even though we don't really have standards here at the Baron's Hideout podcast, we kind of just go with the flow, and if we like something, we like it. If we don't like
Exactly.
it, then it's a mutilator.
Say that.
Fuck that movie and forever,
Oh,
forever. Um,
gotta be a
so
recurring joke though. You gotta
yes,
keep it.
yes, for sure. Aaron, once again, thank you for kind of coming out of retirement for this one episode, and it was a good movie, and I'm glad that
But
you wanted to come and do this one with me
I'm
because
like,
Fuck, dude. I'm gonna go watch Terrifier tonight, and then I'm probably gonna go and watch Terrifier 2, unless Dean used up the last one. I gotta message him because he might want to watch it. But yes, please go buy your tickets now, October 6th, and I think it's like 800 plus. I think they added more theaters throughout the U.S. as that's a lot of theaters for a movie like this.
Mm,
Don't see movies this brutal in theaters. Like Halloween Kills had some pretty crazy stuff, but this beats it, man. 100%.
definitely.
And thank you guys for, supporting us as always. This was a great one, and I can't wait to do more. And there's going to be some more Terrifier stuff coming out this week with the interview that we have lined up tomorrow, and I might do a bonus episode one day of just kind of a quick overview of the first Terrifier to kind of give you guys, 3 doses of Terrifier from Damien Leone. Go watch this film, guys, and thank you so much for listening and supporting us any way you can, and we will see you next time.
Goodbye.